What's going on, guys? It's Char here, back with another video. Now, I don't exactly know what I'm going to be titling this video because I kind of wrote myself into a creative hole with the Marvel Rewind title. Basically, what we're going to be doing today is recapping my year of Marvel Champions, my first year almost to the dot. So a bit of a background, if you want to skip to the actual rankings and things I give, go ahead in the sections down below, but a bit of a background for today's video. So first of all, I want to give a thank you to all the responses and feedback on the newest Iceman video. It was a ton of fun. You guys seem to really like the cadence and energy I brought to that video, even though it was a tad not overplayed, but a tad more energetic than usual. The thing about that is that it might just seem like I'm, amping up, kind of unintentionally, or kind of like it's not my real persona. Anyone who knows me in real life is like I'm pretty loud, I'm pretty boisterous, and that was more so how I act rather than the normal chart takes where I try to be more analytical. But the feedback on it was really great, so we'll try adopting that a bit more, especially here today. Maybe without all the trolling though. That being said, so we are here today. We're going to be recapping the year in Marvel Champions, which is my first year, and I said it was almost to the dot. So I picked up Marvel Champions on a whim when a Barnes & Noble near me was relocating, and they were kind of liquidating their entire stock at the old store. This included a 75% off board game sale, so I picked up a ton of great board games, and in that was the Marvel Champions core set. It was almost a year to date. I picked it up December 26th of 2023, and it is now, as time of recording this, December 28th of 2024. I don't know exactly when I cracked open the core box and tried it for the first time. That's why we're doing give or take a couple of days here. But again, I don't think this is going to have a specific name, or if I think of one after I edited it, sure, I'm going to go ahead and throw it down there. But as usual, though this isn't a chart take, it's going to be more of a podcast style video. There will be some visuals accompanied because I like that split layout I did the last time. So if you want to keep me on, sure. If you want to put me in the background, that also works. I really want you guys to take advantage and answer these questions or these categories down below with ones of your own. Let me know what you think of my picks, and I will let you know what I think of yours. I love the interaction. I read every single comment. I try to reply to every single one. Keep leaving them. It's been great. But let's go ahead and get to those picks. But before we're getting to the picks, make sure you're leaving a like and subscribe and checking out all the great content on the channel. Doing a quick little shill segment. That's it. Don't have to skip forward. We're moving on to the categories. Okay, so we're here on the Hall of Heroes website, and we're going to be looking at a couple cards. Now, unlike these recap videos from other YouTubers, go check them out if you haven't, of course. I'm not going to be limiting myself to only the last year releases. The reason being is that this is my first year playing the game, so I experienced everything for the first time. So for the fact that only like 4 heroes and 1 expansion box released this year, I have everything to compare everything to, essentially. So if you're only looking at my opinions for the newest releases and the categories I have for those, it's going to be in this first half of the video right here. But in the second half, I'm going to be doing some picks and favorites, talking about the game overall. So make sure you stay tuned for that and leave your own down in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get started with the ones that were released in the past calendar year, starting with Age of Apocalypse and ending with Magneto. So this first category we're talking about is favorite aspect card. Now, this year introduced some really great, really fun aspect cards. You look in Iceman's pack, he has all of the aggression cards. He has like a couple of really cool allies and things like that deal with attachments. Really fun. Jubilee has stuff like Disguise, has a couple of new Justice cards, and it's also really fun. Nightcrawler has the start of the minion summoning focus we got with Come Get Me Bub, and also a really crazy back of the pack card called Gunboat Diplomacy, which is on one of the honorable mentions along with Come Get Me Bub. And then if we're looking at Magneto, which I will give a spoiler is where the card that I'm picking is, you have the evolution of this minion summoning with a card like Squared Off, which lets you discard cards from the encounter deck until you find a minion, and you put an ally into play from your hand, reducing its cost by 3. Or not put into play, yeah, you play an ally, which is very important distinction. Just all of these cards are really good and really fun, but if I had to choose one aspect card, and it includes the basic aspect, so another honorable mention is Face the Past. I love the design of this card. I love the draw 3. I think it's so cool for heroes that have weaker nemesis minions to get a bump to their economy. It's awesome. I love this card, honestly speaking. But we do have to narrow it down to just one, and my pick for the favorite new aspect card of the past year, it has to be Kid Omega. Now, I haven't played with this card a ton, but the times I have played it, it's just, he does everything you want him to do. He has a psionic trait, he has the X-Men trait. The X-Men trait does a ton of heavy lifting here. Not a ton of heavy lifting because the card is really good without it. It's a 2-cost ally, which is already really good. 2 health, so he gets 2 activations or an activation and a block. If you have Uncanny X-Men, he gets 2 activations and a block, 3 activations total. But his response is what does it for me. After Kid Omega enters play, choose. You can spend a Lightning Bolt resource, deal 1 damage to each enemy. Crazy in multiplayer. And then the opposite, if you spend a Science resource or a Mental, remove 1 threat from each scheme. I just love how versatile this card is. I love how high his stats are for a 2-cost ally. Just everything about this card is amazing. It's just so cool. I love this card so much. Now we're going to move on to my favorite new hero card. So not the hero itself, even though that one might be a bit obvious based on the last video. My favorite new hero card. There are some really fun ones that also released this year. For going back here, Jubilee, I really like her grand finale card. It's just a really fun ender. Iceman has Frozen Solid and Magneto. He has some cards like the Magnetic Missile and Wrapped in Metal combo that are really fun and really thematic. But it's gonna go ahead and go to the Nightcrawler pack here. No suspense. My pick from new hero card released in the past year is Kurt Cutlass's. I'm a person who really likes big value cards, and even though this doesn't do something immediately, the fact that it's a 2-cost upgrade that gives you 1 attack, 1 defense, and 1 retaliate is still crazy to me to this day. You get so much value out of just that 2 cost or 3 effective resources. I just love this card. I love the theming of it. It gives Nightcrawler really great stats because he already has that 2 scheme on his 2 thwart on his hero card, so it brings him to a 2/2/4. I just love the card. I love the retaliate, everything about it. It's just so cool. It works well with his kit. Love Kurt's Cutlasses. Now, if we're doing my favorite new hero, there really is negative suspense here. If you saw the last video, it has to be Iceman. What is there to say about Iceman? I love the debuffing. I love his, his cool off ability to shuffle in his ice cards. I love his freeze interrupt to slow the enemy down, either let you survive some more or flip down and get have them not thwart out the main. The power belt's fun. Crowd Connect Perception, the most misunderstood card in this game, which hopefully will be more on that in the future that I want to talk about. It's just so much fun. Every time I put Iceman to the table, no matter the aspect, I take him in aggression, put him in justice, I put him in protection. So much fun, so much fun. And obviously leadership is just really strong with that leadership X-Men build. But that's going to be it for the news section of today's video. Now we're getting into overall favorites because this is my first year of Marvel Champions. It is my own anniversary with the game, and I want to go ahead and talk about things that got me excited this year, and we're going to talk about encounters right now. So if I want to talk about my favorite encounter in the game right now at this point in time and overall, there was a couple contenders in my mind and a couple of honorable mentions. I really like kind of the basic ones, so Juggernaut was a consideration here. I just find him a lot of fun. Yeah, people might say it's too easy, too hard. I just find him fun. I think his design is cool. Mr. Sinister is up there as well. There's just some really good encounters in this game, but it was really only down to 2. One of those being Magneto. Now, when we're talking about the hardest villains in the game, he's arguably the 3rd or 4th hardest villain in this game, wherever you want to see him. I enjoy Magneto a ton because I think he is difficult, but I think he's fair. I don't really know how to quantify that. It's my own, experience and difficulty that comes to when I'm playing this game. But I love Magneto. I love that you can't just burst him down. I love that you have to go through schemes. You have to use every part of a hero's kit. You have to be involved with every single aspect of the game. He puts a minion in play. He has a little counter mechanic on his main scheme that makes him get an extra encounter card to keep you on your toes. He puts minions. He just has so many cool mechanics and effects, and he's such a strong thematic final villain for a box. But if I had to give it to the villain that I might like a bit more than Magneto and had a bit more fun with throughout the year, I would have to give it to Taskmaster, and that's going to go ahead and be my favorite encounter of the year. Taskmaster he's really fun because he challenges the way I was initially thinking of how you're supposed to play this game. I really like flipping a lot, and Taskmaster is one of the hero or villains in this game that kind of punishes you for doing so. He has these forced responses that say after you change the hero form, you discard the top card of his encounter deck, and you take damage equal to the number of boost icons, which means if you put harder modular sets in there, whenever you flip down, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to get away from the damage. I'm going to heal up. Sometimes you have to heal up twice or to full because you're going to flip up and take a 3-4 boost icon hit, and it's almost like it negated your heal in general. I like that he makes you think on your toes. I don't think he's necessarily very difficult, but I had a lot of fun playing him in multiplayer scenarios. And I think, having to do the responses, everyone's flipping up, he's milling cards from the encounter decks. You get these really fun and cool zero cost allies after he puts these side schemes in play. Obviously, I don't think he's the hardest villain. I think he's actually quite, manageable, but he's a ton of fun and was my favorite encounter of this year. Now, favorite encounter doesn't always mean the most played encounter, and one takes the cake by far. It is not even close to what my most played encounter was. We're going to go ahead. Okay, so here we are, my most played encounter. I got to it. It is Claw, and it is not even close. If we think about how many heroes in this game, minus Magic, minus Bishop, I have played Claw at least double that amount of times. Anytime I get a new hero, I take his precon into the core box and I fight against Rhino and I fight against Claw. When I was starting off, it was usually standard, but now as I've become a better player at the game, it's expert both times. Claw is the one that takes me the more tries to beat. Rhino, okay, usually sometimes maybe he schemes out the main, but I flip down and I don't really worry about him flipping a double advance. That's whatever. Claw, even when I'm trying my hardest with these precons, even when I know how to play around his cards, he still takes me a run for my money and I have to play him over and over again. Claw is easily my most played encounter and I still haven't gotten tired of him yet. He's honestly a timeless design. I love Claw. He could have been an honorable mention for my favorite hero, but he's just, I just see him like in a different, league almost. He's like this testing space, this fun, safe testing space. It's not something I'd take to a multiplayer game because I think a lot of the fun or like the kind of difficulty from Claw comes in that solo experience. When you take it into a multiplayer scenario, it kind of loses all of that. But in solo, I love Claw. This is easily my most played scenario for my first year of Marvel Champions. We're getting down to the last couple of categories here. Now we're going to talk about favorite ally. This game has so many great and fun allies. You saw earlier my favorite aspect card was Kid Omega. This favorite ally is going to be through the entire run of Marvel Champions, I guess barring Age of Apocalypse because I still haven't played it yet. But this one, it was really hard. There's a ton of really great ones. You have Moon Girl for the genius traits. You have Nick Fury, which is like the GOAT ally at this point. There's just so many different cards. Ironheart, Maria Hill. But if I had to pick one, which I thought was the most cool, unique, and fun every time I put it on the table, it had to be Monica Chang. This card made me rethink what they could do with the design of cards in this game. I love for the fact that you pay this 3-cost ally, really low stats, really low health, but the response is so much fun. After she enters play, you search your deck, hand, and discard pile for a copy of Surveillance Team, and you put it into play. Boom. You play Monica Chang, you get like 1 thwart, 1 attack, and a block. You also get 4 effective threat removed because you put the Surveillance Team in play and you put 1 Snoop counter on each Surveillance Team you control. So if you have a lot of them on the board, she can turn that 4 threat into 5, even 6. It's so much fun. I love this card. I love the design of it. And I really hope with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. expansion, or maybe some of the heroes that we're getting up in the future, that we're going to get more, designs kind of in this, aspect. Maybe not for med team, but I could definitely see, combat team, or what is it? The tag team get a similar card like this and not be too overpowered, in my opinion. But actually, it might, because it does put it in with 8 damage. We'll see about that. Verdict's still out. But yeah, I love this card. It's a ton of fun. Favorite ally. And if we have to go to favorite hero, there's so many honorable mentions I have for this category. It is almost impossible to pick one, and it was really hard to pick one, so I'm just going to scroll down and give you a couple of my honorable mentions for favorite hero. I've been playing a lot of Thor. I don't know if I'd put him in an honorable mention, but he's so much fun whenever I pick him up. None of those, sadly. Star-Lord, I've played a lot of. Venom's a ton of fun. War Machine really surprised me when I got him down to the table and the times I played him. He is really fun. Then we're looking at some of these other ones. Okay, none there. Cyclops is definitely an honorable mention. I just love the allies. I love everything to deal with them. Gambit, the namesake of the channel, even though that's not necessarily what it was named after. I had a lot of fun with him when I played him for a couple games. I haven't experienced the X-Force as much as I'd like to. That's something I'm going to change the new year. And I forgot that there's the heroes in the boxes. Cable is definitely an honorable mention. Colossus, probably an honorable mention. I loved playing as Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Adam Warlock, I want to play more of, and yeah. But when we get down to it, at the end of the day, it's not any of the hero packs, it's not any of the expansion packs. We're going to a core box hero. If we're looking at my favorite hero in this game, at this point in time and overall, maybe not at this point in time, but overall over the year, and the reason that it led me to the steps of creating this channel, uploading this content, and having a great time with all of you. The hero that really sucked me into this game is right here, none other than She-Hulk. I know this seems like blasphemy, but when I played the core box, the only hero, not the only hero, but the only one that really and truly clicked with me the most was She-Hulk. I loved playing this hero. Everything about this hero I love. I love the alter ego action. Interrupt, I object. When you put any threat on the main scheme, you just prevent one of it from going on. I love when you flip up. You get to deal 2 damage to an enemy anywhere on the board. It's just so much fun. It really, incentivizes you to flip up and down to keep getting that free 2 damage. 14 or 15 health points, 3 attack, 2 defense. She had so much attack. I loved attacking, ready attacking. You have the Gamma Slam, you have the Hellcat. You have split personality, which is such a fun card. The focus rage for draw power, the superhuman strength. Even without the errata and the rules update, I had fun using it. When I went through the core box, there was nothing, I mean seriously, no hero that was more fun. I played all the other heroes like once or twice. She-Hulk I played about like 9 or 10 times before I moved on and started opening some of the other content I got from the game, where 1 year later I'm all caught up with the releases, which is crazy. That is the end of my video here today. That is all of the categories I have, and if you want, I'm going to go over them really quick. Once again, it was my favorite new aspect card, my favorite new hero card, my favorite new hero. Then we're going to overall my favorite encounter, my most played encounter, my favorite ally, and my favorite hero. That was a ton of fun. I hope you guys had fun looking over all my picks with me. And if I had one major wish into the next year, give some love to some of those old archetypes. We're going back to Shield, so we know Shield is getting some love. We're pretty sure there's going to be a Shuri based on the silhouette, so Wakanda tag is hopefully getting some love. Give some Gamma love for Hulk and She-Hulk. Give some Avengers love. I just really want to see these new heroes brought up. These older heroes brought up by new cards in the card pool. Something like Squared Off with like Blue Thor, really breathe new life into that hero. There's so much room for design in this game, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hearing my picks. Go ahead and leave your picks for those categories down below, and go ahead and add any categories of your own to it and let me know. I'm always in the comments, I'm always reading, I'm always replying. Even though it might take me a couple days, I read and appreciate every single one. Leave a like down below if you haven't already, and subscribe as well. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Have a happy New Year's and happy holidays as always. Goodbye.